In today's video, we're going to tell you guys about one of the most common mistakes we see a whole lot of players of the lower levels make on every single serve. And that mistake is that they're opening up the racket this way, like a frying pan when they are serving. Now you probably heard about this before, that the racket is supposed to drop behind the head, move up and go straight towards the contact point with a pronation. Now most people think that by fixing your grip and having the correct grip on your serve, you fix this issue. The problem is that it is still possible to do the wrong motion with the correct grip. So just because I have the correct grip doesn't mean that I will not take my racket back this way. You see how my wrist here, I can show this from closer up, my wrist has to not bend back this way. If I take my wrist back like this while holding my racket just opens up straight towards the sky. Now, beginner players, they have obviously a frying pan grip and they do exactly that and hit the ball like that forward. Now we're trying to learn to serve with a proper service grip, and for that we need to make sure that we also add this loop here. So instead of taking the racket back like this, which I still could do with this grip like that, and then swinging, we want to make sure that our racket drops behind our head, and for that we have to take a look at our wrist position. It is key that our wrist position stays pretty much straight, and all we do is we're dropping the racket with a hammering motion. So when we get the racket up here, we're trying to drop the racket as if we're trying to start our swing with a hammer, right? We're taking the racket back like this. A lot of people try to fix this issue by bending their wrist like that. But as you can see, even if I do this, yes, my racket is pointing up in the right direction, but if I now swung, I would end up with a completely wrong racket position in the contact point. Right? My racket would move up like this, or I would have to rotate a lot, pronate a lot, and I would not be able to hit the ball straight forward. So we need to make sure our wrist stays pretty much straight. We're keeping this at the same angle all the way through, and we're trying to make sure that from up here, we're dropping, first of all, our arm down, our forearm down, but also our wrist as if we're hammering. Now the racket goes down here, moves up, and we're completing the loop up towards the contact point. So one more thing, you might think that if you do everything correctly, it's very uncomfortable for the wrist to straighten out like this and getting the racket into the perfect spot for the contact point. The key point is that our upper body rotation helps us to get the racket to swing through the ball. Without the upper body rotation, it will be very difficult. We won't get into the right contact point up here, and we won't make clean contact pushing the ball straight towards the court. So just by looking at this is obviously very uncomfortable. But this motion is not uncomfortable anymore if it happens together with the upper body rotation as a consequence of your upper body dragging the arm and thus causing the pronation in the process.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.